We continue with our news where the National Treasury will deploy allow me to take that again. The National Treasury will deploy sustainability-linked bonds and debt swaps to address the growing public debt, which currently stands at 66%. Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi says Kenya is grappling with mounting debt with approximately close to 700 billion shillings in outstanding Eurobonds, while 120 billion shillings are scheduled for repayment this year alone. Under the new debt management strategy, Treasury plans to lower debt-GDP ratio to about 55% by the year 2029.
Kenya's growing public debt has become a concern for policymakers, with debt servicing consuming a large portion of government revenues. The pressure to meet international repayment obligations, particularly with the Eurobond nearing maturity, has intensified calls for urgent debt management reforms. As of June 2024, the stock of public debt was 10 trillion shillings, of which domestic debt was 5.4 trillion.
Do we really need to go to IMF, World Bank, to wait for executive decision of Trump? We will not. But what if now we decide we want to be satisfied with what we have? We are stealing zero. All of us as a country, we are not stealing anything. And then we save this 2 billion per day. We will save over 700. In fact, our total deficit will be covered by our own taxes, and we will not borrow any money.
Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi says the government is working on various strategies aimed at restructuring the country's fiscal space without compromising essential public services.
So how then do we solve this problem? The strategy, to me, is very simple. Number one is to consistently demonstrate that you are reducing your budget deficit to GDP ratio over the period to reach the target of at least maximum of 3%.
All eyes shift attention to the National Treasury as the government is seeking to explore new funding instruments to address budget deficit and manage public debt. Reporting for Lunchtime News from Nairobi, my name is Frederick Mwoki.